So, this is a follow-up to the video that I did about how you cannot travel with everyone, okay? And so this is a very short story time to kind of emphasize that point. So many years ago, I went on a group trip to Paris. Actually, we went to Madrid and we went also to Paris. And so one thing that was really noticeable about the people in Madrid is that, and this is like no disrespect to the country of Spain, but one of the things that we were warned about before we went on this trip, that, you know, pickpocketing is a big thing over there, and that we needed to make sure that we were thoughtful in terms of, you know, our electronic devices and our money, more specifically our money, because it was one of those situations where these were very sophisticated pickpocketers, right? And so one of the guys in the group, he just would not really listen. Like, he heard the warnings, but I guess he thought because he was a man that, you know, he wasn't a target and that they wouldn't get him, right? And so come to find out, like, once you're in Madrid, you can see the level of sophistication that exists there in, you know, pickpocketing. Like, these are, some of these people are very skilled in doing that, right? And so what ended up happening is that we were walking down the street. Now, mind you, before we went down the street, because we were actually leaving our hotel, getting ready to go to a restaurant, because, you know, at the restaurant they were going to have sangria and performers and all of that. And so we were all excited. So before we left, our guide had told us to be very aware of where we had our wallets and our money, because, you know, we were going to walk in an area that was heavily populated and that was, you know, pretty known for pickpocketing, and they would get a lot of people. And so I mean, he heard it, but I guess he didn't, and he didn't take it very seriously. Mind you, we're walking down the street, right? And we're walking as a group. These two guys quickly come out of nowhere, and they're walking very quickly. And they like, both guys, one guy got on each side of him, right? And so they're walking quickly and walking up behind him and eventually on the side of him. And I don't know if someone bumped him and grabbed his wallet out of his pocket, but it happened so fast. And one of the things that the guy told everyone is to put your wallet and your money in a safe place. And she specifically told him, do not put your money and your wallet in your back pocket, okay? He did not listen. He just, I don't know where his mind was, but he just didn't take the advice. And he was, you know, he's a big guy. He's kind of, I would say he's probably about like 5'8", but he's a heavier set guy. And I guess he may have taken for granted that they weren't going to pick his pocket, but they got him. And, you know, this is again why I say you cannot travel with everybody, because then we all had to, like, first of all, it took us way off of the purpose of, you know, where we were going for that evening. So we were all delayed in seeing the performance. We were delayed in eating, and everybody was already hungry. So that was the first thing. The second thing is that, you know, he had no money. And so we all had to be thoughtful and considerate about how could we, you know, pitch in a little bit to help him out, you know, and because he had nothing. And so it inconvenienced everybody else on the trip because he wouldn't listen. He didn't listen. He didn't follow instructions. And so that's one situation that happened. And then another situation that happened is this woman, she wanted to shop. And her daughter was paranoid because her daughter was like, we don't want to miss our flight. Because keep in mind, we're in, at this time, we're in the airport in Paris, and there were little shops. And so her mother wanted to shop. And we were all, as a group, saying, let's stay close to the gate. That's the best place for us to be. Let's all stay close to the gate. Well, she didn't listen. And so next thing you know, she's going off to the side. And at the time, there was a bomb threat in the airport, so we had to, evacuate. I mean, it was just like a lot going on. And when we evacuated, I don't know where she was, but we didn't see her anywhere. And so by the time we come back to the gate, it's time for us to board our flight. Don't you know this woman missed the flight back to America? She ended up shopping so much and just totally disregarded the group. And for the longest, those of us in the group, we were trying not to get too far from the gate. We were looking for her. People were trying to contact her, trying to figure out, where are you? The plane is boarding. It just was a major inconvenience. So I say that to say, like, this doesn't, and this is before you get to attitude and bad habits and everything. You really have to be selective about the people you travel with, and you definitely want to make sure that these are people who can take instruction and can and will listen and follow through, and not just think about themselves and what they want, but also be considerate of other people. So that is the story to follow up for the point of, you just can't travel with everyone. It sucks, but you can't.